Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a list of some of my favorite things from the month of October. Normally I break my favorites videos up into categories, so that way if you're only interested in certain categories you can just go to the description bar and see the timestamps that I put in, but this time around pretty much everything falls into the category of electronics and entertainment. So if you're interested in hearing about some awesome video games or YouTube channels or things of that sort, that's all this is today. First up, I want to talk about season 3 of Daredevil. The first season of Daredevil, while being extremely violent, was probably one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I absolutely adored it, and then season 2 was just kind of like okay for me, but it was still good because of the Punisher. I personally still think that season 1 had some of the best fight scenes, and I don't know that season 3 necessarily trumped it in that element, but I do think that it did a phenomenal job of, man, they just had some great actors. I think Charlie Cox plays Matt Murdock so well, and then the actor that plays Wilson Fisk is amazing. The actor that plays another antagonist was amazing. Pretty much the entire cast I thought was phenomenal. I thought the level of scheming and corruption that was going on was done so well. There were a lot of times that I was like, oh shoot. And just a little tidbit here, my husband is a huge fan of comics and he also loved it, so I know it kind of does matter, even though it feels like, how dare you, you should think my opinion is valid. If you're a legitimate fan of comics, I understand that me, somebody who hasn't read the comics, maybe you're not going to trust my opinion as much, but my husband does love comics, he liked it too, so go watch Daredevil. Switching now to a video game I have been loving, and I don't know what took me so long to get into this game, and it's not the best game I've ever played, but it's still a fantastic game, and that would be Final Fantasy 15. Anybody who is a fan of Final Fantasy remembers having to wait for so long for this game to come out, and then when it finally came out, the storyline, it just felt like there were holes in it. It felt like we weren't getting the kind of storytelling that we normally get from a Final Fantasy game. They did make some other things that go along with this that you're supposed to watch or look into if you want to get the whole story, which is a little bit lame, except that I have been enjoying this game so much that I am probably gonna go and get into all those other things because the bits of the story we do get are actually really great. Pretty much all Final Fantasy games before this one had some form of turn-based combat, and this one, the combat isn't really that. It's really bizarre, and I've never played a game where the combat system is like this, and when you're playing, there's so much going on, but it's still so much fun despite all the chaos of what's going on. I think it has one of the most amazing, beautiful boss battles I have ever seen. I swear, one of the boss battles, I was playing, I was up late at night, my husband had gone to sleep, and I was like, why didn't he go to bed? This is so cool. Also, it's just beautiful to look at. The graphics are great, the music is great. It's great. The next couple things I want to talk about are book related, but I don't ever talk about books in my favorites videos because I talk about books all the time. But I want to talk about a book related channel that I just think deserves so much more attention because this person is so talented. She's precious, she's super well spoken, she's a doll, but also she's freakishly talented, and she does these videos. Her channel name is I Live for Books. She does these videos where she takes the naked hardback of a book and she has some kind of artistic design in mind, and then she films herself defacing the book essentially, and she just makes the most beautiful creations out of these books. It's really stunning. She's so creative and interesting with the things that she does, and they're always different. They never look exactly the same. And I love how she goes about filming them. She shows you the whole process from the beginning to the end. And so in the middle and at the very beginning, pretty much every stage except for the end, you're kind of sitting there like, how is this gonna turn out? What is this gonna look like? And then by the end, you're like, it's so beautiful. Not to mention that she has the most soothing speaking voice. She is so wonderful with how she goes about talking about books, and she is calm, her demeanor is so pleasant. She's just great. I can't say enough great things about her. She's amazing and she's super talented, and you should all check her out. The last couple things I want to mention are a couple of, one is a website and one is an app, but they're both things that I used when I created my Mistborn music video. For those of you who haven't seen it, I composed and performed this piece inspired by Mistborn. I've done the same thing for Stormlight Archive, and I've done a cover for one of the Witcher pieces from the Wild Hunt soundtrack. And for the longest time I'd been wanting to do something like this, and I knew I had the ability to compose the parts and play the parts, but trying to find a way to record it and get it set up the way I wanted, where it was split screen, I just didn't know how to go about doing that. Every time I looked that kind of stuff up online, it always seemed like people use really complicated programs. And I've mentioned this app in the past, but I want to mention it again because it really is super, super easy, and that would be PicPlayPost. It makes putting split screen videos together so simple. All I have to do is drop the videos that I want into these different layouts that they have, and that's it. That's all it takes. I mean, I have to edit the videos beforehand to make sure that they're gonna line up, but otherwise, I just put them together and there you go, there's the split screen video. The website I want to mention is a website called Noteflight. Noteflight is a program online that you can use for free, and you can compose pieces on it. And that's so, so nice for, you know, if you're trying to write a piece of music, you don't have to put it all on paper. You don't have to try to buy some expensive program to use. Noteflight is online for free, which is very nice. That is it for my favorites for the month of October. Let me know if you guys have used any of these things, if you're gonna try out any of these things. Let me know if you're fans of the Marvel Netflix shows, and why the heck are they canceling some of them? I don't get it. As always though, have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.